Okay, we are about to start the 1997 Tecmo Bowl. Post the link. Wrong spot. All right. Chicago won the NFC, went 14-2, while Pittsburgh winning the AFC 14-0-2. And we're getting ready to start this game. I'll let them know I'm here. All right, one of these guys is going to win their first Tecmo Ball here in about an hour and a half. Looks like an exciting game. I'm pretty sure, I should have checked this beforehand. Pretty sure it's the top offense, Chicago, and I know Pittsburgh had the top defense, allowing under 10 points per contest. 1992 Detroit, I know, had a slightly better defense, but this was one of the all-time best. So Pittsburgh uses a couple of different quarterbacks. Eric Zaire, and I believe it's Kent Graham, and they are both kind of low turnover guys that aren't loaded with long gains long, but they're, like I say, guys that help protect Bettis. They move the chains, what I call winning quarterbacks, guys that hit a lot of flat passes. To me, that's one of the first things you want out of a quarterback, at least help protect the running game somewhat. But they did not lose a game combined this year. Here's a guess right run to Bettis to start things. And he's got 3 yards. Chicago runs the 3-4 defense. And Kevin Turner playing blocking back here for Jerome Bettis. 2nd and 7. It's going to be a flat pass right, Kevin Turner. He's got a big hit, 22 yards. That may be the biggest hit of him for the year. That's his biggest on the flat card for sure. Take a quick look. No, he did have a 36-yarder. Good receiver, as you see. 48 catches, 443 yards. So he does more than just block. First down on the Bears, 46, 7 yards. Gets it inside the Bears 40, 2nd and 3. Good place for an offense to be. Probably too close to get a good exchange on a punt, so you got 3 downs to get 3 yards. So linebacker Bettis being keyed. He's going to lose the yards. He's going to set up 3rd and 4. Going to the 3 wide receiver look with Bettis. Staying in. Bears have a middle linebacker 6. We're not in run containment right now, but it's a big factor when you're going against a guy like Bettis. 3-3-5, no blitz, and it's off tackle right to Bettis. Guess wrong if it's not single back. He's got a short gain, guessed right, 15 yards. So the single back came up, Bettis still nailed it. Down to Chicago, 25. And Pittsburgh has a great field goal kicker. He's not mistaken, 2-10 all the way up to the 32. There's the in-run left to Bettis, guessed right. No gain. Yeah, 2-10. Pete Stoyanovich, it's 2-11 on extra points, 2-10 all the way up to the 32, and then 2-5 from deep. So really good field goal kicker. So look into Frank Sanders. It's going to be guessed wrong. 2-yard pickup. White dice 6, but a 6 middle linebacker, Junior Seau. I say that. Let me double check. He's also got Levon Kirkland. I don't believe that's Seau in there this year. Yeah, Junior Seau, 6'11". So you not only get a middle linebacker 6, but crazy pass rush. One of the best non-quarterback or running back assets to have. 3rd and 8. You can lose 9 yards and still be in that prime field goal range. Off tackle right, there's going to be no containment. Both guys coming. It's going to get no gain. And 4th and 8, Stoyanovich on for the 2-10. And he makes it 3-0 Pittsburgh, who scored on their opening drive. And with that defense allowing under 10 points per game, that's always a big deal for you. I think I've got somebody joining. Yes. Let me get these guys added. Hello, Jay. Hey, Jake.
Hi, Tim. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How you doing, bud?
Good. You can hear me all right?
Yep. We got a fumble here, and it's going to be a turnover.
Oh, wow.
And it's a receiver fumble, so you get the extra juiced returns if you want to take it.
Tries to return it.
Nope. He's going to take the possession.
I don't think a lot of guys know about that. That extra juicy return card there on the wide receiver fumbles.
Yep, I agree. I think they know the sack fumbles are, but not always the receiver fumbles. Okay, so they've got the ball back at the Bears 47. I believe. Yeah, Ricky Dudley had picked up 11. There's going to be a 7-yard pickup to Frank Sanders. 2nd and 3.
One more first down. He's back in 2-10 range.
That's right. And teams with good defenses just like to stack the points on. It's like, it may only be 3, but it might take you 20 minutes to get 3. So there's an incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 3 at the Bears 40.
Going after that 6. He's been hitting that, going for that middle linebacker, knowing that that's probably not going to be double stuffed. Big third down.
I don't want to account for him too. You don't want him, in your run zones and your outside zones. So occasionally you gotta toss it at those guys. It's gonna be a short yardage. It's gonna be a right flat to Turner. Pretty decent chance here. He's got 9 first down. And they're inside the
that field goal range.
Yes, sir.
So Vandy continues the hot run of picking up turnovers. He had 5 of them against me, so it's a huge advantage.
Yeah, when you're allowing less than 10 a game, stuff like that, really valuable. There's a loss of 2.
Ooh. Wasn't field goal range. He still is, but it's a lot tighter now.
Yep. 2nd and 10. Can't go around 5 of 7 early.
So he didn't go back. Must have been a look in.
You got it. The bus gets wrong off tackle. got 4. Kevin Turner makes the block. Took a great blocker. White roll 6, but Kevin Turner's a 6.
Yeah, it's his only good blocker. The rest of them are all 4s. He does have a 5 over there at right tackle. He likes to run out of this 3 wide receiver set, which turns all those guys into 0s. But it's does keep pressure off Bettis.
And Bettis is a good guess right runner. He's got some big short game, like a +4 also in the middle of the card. So he's got another 2 through 10 shot.
That's a first down if he's in his regular set.
Yep. He's got the field goal. And great coverage.
Yeah.
+10.
Yep.
Get all the way to this game, you start appreciating having drafted a coverage around higher. You're like, okay, I'm glad I got these guys for when you get into a big game. All right, here we go. Barry Sanders, 87 yards is nothing to Barry Sanders.
Nope.
Most of us in the NFC can testify to that.
Yeah, you can't guess him right every play.
Nope. Thought Dennis coached pretty well against him in the conference championship, but a couple of those, like I think it was an off tackle roll of 9 a couple of times, guessed wrong, long gain.
Vinny did too. Vinny had he had the
Yes.
lead heading into the 4th, and Barry just took over. Like you said, you can't guess him right every play.
Right. Yeah, the Steve Young, that's actually going to be a trivia question I was going to bring up. I might as well get it out here in a second. There's a 17-yard pickup, Steve Young with the pass. Most teams, I would say, call run somewhere in the, I'd say league average, what, 27%? Do you think, Jay?
That sounds about right. I was going to say about 30, somewhere between 25 and 30. So, yeah.
How much, without looking it up, do you think Barry Sanders was guessed right?
Another fumble?
Oh, and he got it back.
Got that one.
Thank goodness, because you don't want to see a game totally changed on a couple of early turnovers. But Barry Sanders didn't really play in run containment situations. He typically went to a passing formation. But what do you think Barry Sanders' guessed right run percentage was for the year? And I'll let other folks kind of think about that, and we'll give the answer at the beginning of the second quarter. Okay, so Rick's got his heart rate.
So you have you have the stat how many times he was guessed right on the season?
Yes.
How are you able to get that?
It's in, let me think of which one it is. It's in player stats, Stratomatic reports, I think.
Huh. Okay, cool. And never knew that was there. That's slick.
It was quite surprising to me, and I'll give you some background on some other guys. Like 27% is the average, and if you've got a guy that's not playing on 2nd and 1 a whole lot, or if you've got a guy who's not playing on 3rd and 8 or running the ball a lot there, the stats fairly typically end up around the 20%. Here's a big gain, 37 yards. Steve Young with the pass. Tony Martin.
That came off of Vandy's card. 3 guys in the short zone, right? Did it hit the box cars? 3 guys in the short zone?
I'm trying to trace it now. Looks like a receiver roll.
Oh, okay. Receiver wrong. It went fast. They're clicking quick.
So there's 4 more yards, and 2nd and 6 at the Pittsburgh 7.
Vandy's got to find a way to hold him to a field goal here. I mean, it's so early in the game. We're first quarter, but
exactly. Short to Martin, guess wrong. There we go. Another long game touchdown.
Wow.
And the Bears tied the game just like that.
It goes so fast. Can't tell what number he's hitting to hit those long gains. I didn't get to see Martin's card, but yeah. So just like that, boy, Chicago can just make it look so easy when they're rolling, right?
Yep. They can do what is really the ideal, like triumvirate. They can protect the ball, they can move the chains, and they can hit big plays. That's really what you want out of an offense. If you can get all three of those things working. Bus gets 3, and we're
I've said this
3-1.
before. I always, no, I'm sorry. I always felt that, honestly, I always felt that Barry Sanders was miscarded.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
We've
you know,
talked about that.
yeah, the way he's so good guess right. Now, Bus is carded correctly. Bus runs the way he ran. Um, but Barry, the way they made him such a pounder, but it was right about this time where Strat changed the key rules, where they're modern. He went deep, guessed wrong.
26.
20, yeah. So but used to be all you do is just say key, because they're coming out of that set where you had pro sets but before you went to needing to pull the free safety and plug in the zone, it was right about this time where they made that adjustment. Big 8-yard hit. So yeah, now Pittsburgh rolling. They're right back in field goal range. Just they're right in 2-10 territory. He was rolling so good, he even hit a 30 from like the 34 off of me. I was able to push him back or keep him out of that range. He's I don't care. I'm going to hit. I don't need to be 2-10 to beat your butt, and he didn't. So defensive end makes a big stop there. Neil Smith.
Yep.
Kansas City Chief and Denver Bronco.
Yep. I was going to say whom John Elway, I remember, was really excited to see join his team. He's like, yeah, I'm tired of having to run away from that guy. I'd like to see him on my side.
Yeah. He won 2 Super Bowls with him.
Yep. And he was a great player for the Chiefs for a long time, too. So he deserved getting a couple Super Bowls.
He still got the hit. That was a good defensive stuff there. Put 2 guys over there, but came up the offensive card, receiver. We're not seeing many misses from Kent Graham. He's 8 out of 10, right?
Right. And both guys' receiver roles are coming up good for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Junior Sale play, maybe his third of the game, that went on a white die roll of 5. Yeah, I'll go ahead and give it away a little bit. I think Bettis was around what you'd expect. I think he was like 40% guess right.
Yeah. I would say
I'd
say Barry's probably about 50, 55%.
Yeah, and that's what Marion Butts was, just for because I looked it up after I saw that. Marion Butts was like 52%, I think, back in 1990, and most of his years he's probably close to 40, but he's kind of easy to predict. At least people figured it out. I'm going to run him a lot on specific, 1st and 10, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 2. He's going to get a lot of carries, so they knew their guess, calling run was going to pay off a lot, but it didn't matter a lot on his cards. So he's going to get 3 or 5, so you don't really get a big bump necessarily always. And here's a third field goal attempt for Stoyanovich.
Yeah,
he got it 2-10. He needed to be 2-10.
Tickled it. Yeah. We'll see if Pittsburgh, usually that's all they need is field goals.
Yep.
We'll see if the defense can bow its back and stop this Chicago onslaught, because all it takes is to be guessed wrong once, and you're looking at long. We saw 2 long gains in a previous drive, and none of them were to Barry.
Yeah.
So granted, one's from the 6-yard line, but Barry around the end. Ooh.
Before I give,
you aren't going to get many zeros on Barry guessed wrong.
Nope. You're kind of hoping for that 4 through 7 range, because everything else is pretty close to dynamite. 2nd and 10.
I bet that's not 0 off tackle or line butt.
Flat left to Wycheck, +5.
Okay. But see, that's a win for Vandy there. And he's got him at run contain.
Yep. See, in the regular season games I happen to see, they didn't play Barry always in 3rd and 5 or longer. So we'll see. Maybe you will today. And it could be like opponent, specific kind of call that, Rick made on that. But you've only got so many attempts, so there are some places you want to look to, use some of your other plays. And Steve Young, and the fact that he can run, even though he's great short, he can also must run for 5 to 7 yards pretty easily.
Yeah.
Look at Tony Martin. He's got
He got it.
6. Good game so far for Tony Martin. 3 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, and just a couple last things before I give the answer. I'm very, just from my own team, Jamal Anderson's got a bad card, but he runs a lot when you expect guys to run, and he was about 40%. Charlie Garner's the opposite. He almost pretty much only played on like 2nd and 10 type, and he ended up being 25%. He's way better runner than Jamal Anderson. So I'm thinking Barry's got to be 50, because I think how I'd probably try to defend him, and he's got as many long gains as Young does, guessed wrong long. So I'm probably thinking 55%, 40% is all Barry was this year, like 41. I was shocked to see it that low.
It was 41. Is that what you said?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I like I say, I was sure it'd be in the mid 50s. That was my big surprise when I was kind of looking ahead for this game. I was like, wow.
Well, Young is a Hall of Famer, so that might impact it a little bit too.
Solid receivers, and he's not got Barry in, as I mentioned. Here's a flat to Tony Martin, and he again picks up the first down. Tony Martin moving the chains 4 different times. I think one of the ways Chicago really improved their offense this year was at tight end. They now have a good receiving tight end with Ricky Dudley, and I think he made that as an offseason move before this year. I think he traded.
No, it would have. He drafted him.
Okay.
He drafted him last year. He is a draft choice. It took him late in the first. I'm not sure if he's a 97 pick or a 96 pick, but
I always thought, he was a great fit for this particular group. It made it harder to double Martin and Shepard all the time.
Yeah, well, and Wycheck's no slouch either, and Wycheck's coming in his own also.
Oh yeah,
he lasts a long time, but who was it? Carwell Gardner, is that who they had for years as blocking back?
Yes, Cardwell Gardner. And tight end was always kind of one of those positions, though. You got to kind of worry about Wycheck and Barry mostly, though, in the flats. But it was Tony Martin and I won't say Brett Perryman.
Yeah, Perryman.
Another guy that was like almost perfect, short and long and flat. So either one of those could hurt you if they were matched up against a 4, especially.
Then I know they had like Brian Kinchin. Was it solid enough tight end in some decent years? He mixed him in. Here's Barry up the gut.
Long game, 35 yards. It's going to get it down to 16. No, 14.
So hard to stop this offense. You just can't be guessed wrong. Even when you guess them right, 3rd and 7, he's hitting 7-yard flat passes on Young's card. He's got 2 7-yard hits. I think it's on a 7 and a 10. So would he throw him backwards there?
Yep.
Or just line of scrimmage? Yeah.
And, it's one of those things that I'm sure Mike is very aware of. Hey, I'm up 3-1 in scores, but I'm only up 9-7 because I've had 3 field goal attempts, and he's already got 1 touchdown threatening another. And we all know that as coaches, but it doesn't mean you can just will yourself in, for a touchdown. Hard to score once you get inside the 20 against good defenses.
So here at 3rd and 11, probably do not see the flat pass from Young. He's probably got to go downfield. So we'll see if Pittsburgh can get off the field on this one.
And he's got Barry in, but he is facing some good pass rushers with asterisks.
Yeah.
So you wonder if he's at least thinking about a draw here, because he used Wycheck a lot in this situation on 3rd and long. But maybe he's trying to keep the pass rush a little bit in check. But
there's your draw. He's going to be 5 yards short, so this is field goal all the way.
Yep.
You think about maybe. Well, he is inside the 10, but he's got to take the points.
Yeah.
You wondered if he had 4th and a yard, if he'd go for it. But I would imagine Chicago would have taken the points even at 4th and a yard. But doesn't matter.
Yep.
All right, Von Hebron brings it out to the 28.
We're under 2 minutes in the first half.
Fast-moving game.
Staying in normal sets, blocking back 4-3, 7-yard pickup for the bus. Probably go hurry up since he got 7. Might take the timeout. You did get a good chunk, but hadn't made the decision just yet. I don't think you did either. You don't want to leave 4 plays on the clock for a team with
No.
Barry Sanders. That is one thing. He's got such
Yeah,
a deadly.
you don't want to leave one play on the clock for Barry Sanders.
No, you especially don't want to give him. He's going to hit like 1 out of 12, maybe for a long gain or something. If you give him 3 shots, you're almost like giving him 1 in 4. So
he's got long gain on Snake Eyes guess right, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, he does across the board. Here's a linebacker Bettis, short yardage, did not get the block from the center. Jay Lurenberg.
I think he was added from San Francisco. I think Vinny traded him to Mike here in the offseason. Former Chicago Bear.
Yep. Vinny just picked himself up a great quarterback for 1998, John Elway.
Yeah, saw that.
I hate doing that. That hurt, but kind of had to look at that as if I had Flutie, would I go trade for Elway's last year? The answer was no. And kind of like I just really haven't had the draft assets to waste something that I might could get. So I just decided, I think I'm going to go ahead and make this deal if I can and see if I can move him and get something rather than have 2 quarterback cards when you can only use one. Big 2-yard pickup.
Yes, yeah.
3, and now you're really in a dilemma. 4th and 1. Got a punt.
You got a punt. I'm surprised. Well, Chicago didn't call a timeout.
I know it might have been to force his hand. Well, no, I think I would have still done that and forced him to do it with more time on the clock.
Does he have a good punt returner? I'm surprised to see him go coffin corner. Heck, if nothing else, you got the fumble chance on an 11 too.
Yeah, I know Megan had a touchdown last year because I remember kicking away from him, but let's take a quick look on this year. He's got a touchdown on his number 2 returner at 47. So
no, I see that. That's fine.
Longer term, guess wrong. Ooh. That's where Barry hurts. You've got to call run sometimes.
Yep, no doubt. One man back. It didn't hit receiver. You got to go 3-3-5 here, right? Why are you staying base? Oh.
I mean, there's 3 chances of a touchdown straight out, plus 80, plus 80, 11, 12.
Oh, boy. All right.
Still got plenty of carries. Barry's only attempted 10, and kind of what we expected, a really close 10-9 game at the half.
Yeah. Boy, every roll you're like, I got away with one. Every time you guess wrong.
A lot of NFC teams this year canceled their scheduled angioplasties. They're like facing Barry for 60 minutes. We'll take care of that.
Yeah.
But I was like I say, really shocked about that on Barry, and made me like kind of just poke around a little bit. But it doesn't seem like hardly ever you see guys get above 40% calling run. And part of it for me is just trying to learn more about it and think about, planning for the future. But you're almost never even a great runner if you've got pretty good passing game to go with him. 40%, so Barry was guessed wrong quite a bit this year. There was tons of keys on him. There was I want to say 4 key attempts per game. That's way more than you usually see. But in this era, sort of like you're talking about, Jay, since they've changed the key rules, your main running back, even in a 1 running back set, it's just not going to get keyed that much and won't be as guessed right as you might think going, looking at the cards, just thinking, oh, he'll be 60% guessed right. Not really.
Well, there's such a – so a pass guessed wrong is still I mean, especially with Young, I mean, it's an automatic hit, and so it's so hard. It's Young. It's just keeping things honest, and I tried to play defense again. So you're playing defense. You're calling run, you're keying, and Young is just paper cutting you to death all the way down the field. With 9-yard hits, 12-yard hits, 11-yard hits. So, and it just seems like it's automatic. You're just
Yep.
hoping to get a run on your own card to slow them up. And I
And
don't know.
that's,
I
yeah,
guess.
personally, that's one of the things I like about, and it's not just Rick, but Steve also, when he was coaching the Bears, is they didn't look at everything being Young's great flat pass. There's another turnover.
So on the kick return, goodness sakes.
So we each have each team has had a lost kickoff return, and Vandy's going to be going to Zaire here. But I think both Steve and Rick do a good job of incorporating the short and long pass to where, yeah, I could give up 7 yards to a flat or 9 yards, but I want to keep Barry down. But a lot of his hits, like I say, he's going to Tony Martin deep, 4 times a game. He's throwing it
Mm-hmm.
to his other guy, a whole bunch of short passes. So they've got a lot of shots at hitting you for a first down right off the bat. So yeah, you have to pay attention to it and call run, but you've got to respect Steve Young and the passing game too. So
Tim, did I miss it? You said that Vandy lost a return fumble. I didn't see that. Was that in the very beginning?
yes, right at the oh no, it was Chicago. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. That's 2 for him. I got him backwards. Yep. So the Bears have lost a couple.
Yeah, yeah. So they're down 0-2 in turnovers. And there's Akia Bettis. Rick's obviously got an amazing team. He's a good coach too. I knew
Oh yeah.
that when I seen Rick play, he's got a really good game, and I knew when he took this Bear team that Tecmo was in trouble. So,
Yep.
bus around the outside.
5 yard pickup. Yeah, I've faced him for quite a few years in autumn wind, and I would say one of the words I'd use to describe him, he's adaptable. He's going to use
Mhm.
whatever cards he's dealt, and he had obviously a bunch of aces when he got Chicago, but he's very good at adapting to the team he has.
But the other side of that card, it's a touchdown. Instead of rolling 11, if he rolls a 3, that's a touchdown.
Yep.
But it beats throwing a pass, right? 11. Anytime I roll an 11 with my running back, I said, well, beats throwing the ball.
So he's not in the shotgun here, which I think about this a lot. When you got a middle linebacker 6 and you go shotgun, if you don't have an end run type quarterback, you're in contain just about. So
Yeah.
but Bettis can go around in.
He can. Oh, good double
Double
team.
team. Will it be a dump off?
Yeah, a little slow. Could be a dump off.
It is.
Yeah. Bus isn't great. 4 yards, 4th and 4. You got to take the points.
Yep. Flip the lead. Got it.
Again, he tickles it, but sneaks it through. I think the previous one went off the left upright. That one was off the right upright.
Yep. And we've had 6 scores, but only 1 touchdown, and
Yeah.
Pittsburgh leading 12-10.
Good return there. It's going to be a good drive start. 32-yard return on you. Of course, there's a lot of fumbles on 11. So make it a KR2 this year instead of a KR1.
Yep. Got a bunch of carries left for Barry, 20 unfatigued remaining. And he's got 15 off tackle. Beat Robert Harris.
Man. Wow. It's good. It's not what you expect. You get the defensive rating and still pick up 15 yards.
Yep.
And again, here you got a flat pass, guess wrong, and it's only 2. So even out a little bit.
Yeah, it's what you got to kind of hope for when you play them is even if you guess wrong, you got to hope, in between the long games, you get some +3s, +2s, plays like that to where 6 yards, to where you're not sitting in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, like here, 3rd and 2, and give yourself a shot. But this is such a tough offense to play against.
Yep.
Standard set, blocking back, 3rd and 2. Good secondary for Pittsburgh. So short yardage is one of those things you don't worry about playing as much with this. Got Dudley guarded by 6, Shepard guarded by 6, and Martin guarded by 5. Some teams are built to play short yardage safer than others. So Linebuck Berry, it's going to be guessed wrong. He's got 3, got the first down, saved some yards by plugging the hole there.
Yeah, but there's no way to stop it. He could have keyed him and would have still been 3 yards. Just a good roll for good roll for the offense. Nothing no way to stop it.
13 carries, 88 yards for Berry so far. All of the Steelers 32.
He found him.
Loss of 2 there on a key. So that kind of bumps them back as far as field goal range.
Yeah.
Take a quick look at
I'm sure he's no Stoyanovich.
No.
Is this Carney, or is Carney hurt this year?
Nope. That's the guy, and he's 2 through 8, which is slightly better than league average. 23 to 32, 2 through 10 inside, and not any good from range. There's a 4-yard pickup.
Okay, so he's back there. But as Greg Davis, Carney is hurt this year, so they'll have to make the decision between Carney and Davis heading into 98. Okay, 3rd and 8 from the 30.
Berry is in the game.
Yeah, boy, you could sack him, throw him back out of there. No blitz being shown.
Long to Dudley, no man deep, but a 6.
Look in, it was a look in.
Oh, look in, sorry.
That's all right.
11-yard pickup.
Yeah. What a great receiving card. You know, you get you hit your card on that flat, and you've got more than 10 yards in the vast majority of those hits.
Yep, 21 chances of first down on 1st and 10. That's one of the reasons tight ends are kind of carded slightly different, and the elite ones will have that. You'll never see a card like that from a receiver, and every once in a while, like even the 93 Kirby card, I want to say had 14 plus 10 or betters guessed right, which is an amazing amount even for a tight end, but you can see those guys with like plus 20. Gronk had one of those a couple years ago where it's like plus 20, 20 chance of plus touchdown. So Chicago gets in the end zone and looks to take a extra point for a 5-point lead, and they got it. But yeah, Gronk, I believe, had 20 chances of plus 10 and also like 3 long gain chances guessed wrong. That was a crazy good flat card. You can build an offense around like that.
3 key plays we've seen on Chicago's touchdown drives. 3 times there's been run contain, and flat passes have picked up the first down. So he didn't have to throw downfield. He's able to throw flat passes and get the first downs 3 times. So all of those were critical to getting the first down.
Yep.
Bus guess wrong.
Only a couple.
Only there. 2. I think that's a long gain on Barry's card, or at least on his end run. I know it is.
Off tackle also. Yep. 2nd and 8.
He pounded that 6 against me like over and over. He just hit that 6 short gain, guess right. All right. That's fine.
Ted Popson guessed right, the right flat. Incomplete.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be 3rd and 8.
Rolled out of the interception chance.
Neither team showing blitz a lot on 3rd and long. Pittsburgh does have a really good front 4.
There's a blitz.
Showing blitz here. Got Willie Davis against a 0.
He didn't.
Thompson got sacked.
Still got the sack on a flat pass.
Steve Atwater beat
bus, yeah.
And he got the max a chance, 1 through 40 for a flat pass, and got the random of 5. So it forces a punt. Maybe the first time Chicago's had the ball with the lead.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think.
19 minutes, plenty of time left here.
Oh yeah, you got to get some stops. We've already seen Chicago double the defensive average of what Pittsburgh gives up. Look at
Great
that, even
call.
a double team.
6 yards.
Yeah, those are tough. You know, when you finally get the call you want, you got to be able to get the stop out of it. And Young's a Hall of Famer too.
Yep. He's got 12 chances of 6 yards or better, double teamed. You don't even see a lot of quarterbacks with more than like 9 guessed right. He's got 12 chances guessed double teamed. So great quarterback. And there's an incompletion off his card. So quit jinxing him.
Yeah. Well, we know what that is on Barry's card, right or wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but not keyed though. Not keyed.
Nope. 3rd and 4.
That's a big play. We haven't seen many third downs and mediums, at least for Chicago.
There's a key on Barry. Linebuck got 3, so it'll be 4th and 1.
That's tough there too, right? You get the key and still gives up 3 yards. Is he
going for it? He's going for it. Only 1 yard. And there's enough time that I've seen Rick do this before, that he's got the right weapons for this down and distance. I mean, great flat, quarterback. You've got a great guess right running back, and you've got your quarterback for the linebacker. So a lot of good options, but definitely not what you'd have seen in the 70s.
No.
Look into Wycheck, and he's double teamed. Great call again.
Oh, wow.
And
Vandy earned that.
Made a difference there.
Yeah. Vandy had 3 out of 4 perfect calls on that, where you had 2 correct double teams, 1 key, and it still took all that just to get Chicago off the field on 4th down. So
helps to have the personnel, but it helps even more when you use them perfectly like that. So
yeah. All right, then it gets a 1st down, but he's down 5 now. And so the field goal doesn't give him the lead back. Bus guess wrong. Short gain, right? Wrong.
When you see the delay
27, I believe.
Yep. When you see delay in the card image, you're thinking sack chance, maybe double team, or if it's a running play, it might have to be a short gain almost for sure. If it's not a fumble.
Yeah. Well, fumbles it could be a snap fumble too.
Yep. There's 6 more. Bus is up to 71 yards at the moment. 2nd and 4. Prime field goal range, but Pittsburgh's wanting to see the end zone under their cleats. There's Bus not keyed. It'll be guessed right.
Missed only 2. Ooh.
It's a big deal too. So it's 3rd and 2, and Akeem would have made it 3rd and 5. So
yeah.
Happen to pick the right zone to run at there.
1 and 5 shot. Good game. We're getting late in the 3rd here.
Yep, short Sanders
over the top.
Incomplete.
Oh, and a miss on Zaire.
There's a temptation here, but you figure he's going to cut it to a 2-point game, and Stojanovic is on. And he got it. So it's 17-15. Chicago as we head to the final quarter. Excellent Super Bowl so far. Nice return. 28 yards out to the 40.
Yeah, no doubt. Stojanovic, 5 for 5. I believe he was Miami's kicker. He's a little better than Uwe von Schaman was back in the 80s.
Laces
So,
out, Dan.
yep.
Okay, 1st and 10. Guess right, Linebuck. Got 3. Good block, Bertamrati Dawson.
You just put on the trade market.
I'm wondering if he has a young guy coming up. Maybe so. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of really good centers come into the league recently, and this is another bumper crop for centers in the draft this year. 2nd and 7.
Things have slowed down here. It's getting tight. We're heading to the fourth quarter, and a little more thought being given.
Guess wrong. Off tackle right, Barry. Long gain.
There it
51
is.
yards.
It is just so hard. You're like, I call right, I call right, I call right, and I miss once. Bam.
Barry, 18 carries, 148 yards, 8 yards a pop. 1st and goal at 6.
Mandy, yeah, Mandy Taco. It's not going to be the Bears kicker that wins the MVP if he wins.
Yeah. This is his last of the otherworldly cards.
Yeah,
He's got a good
he's still
card
good
next year.
next year, but he's human. Yeah,
But yeah, it's more like Emmett after 95 or something. You're starting to get good cards, but they're not the great elite cards. And Emmett never had a card like this.
if I remember, it's one of those chunky cards. The grade around at the edges and
Yeah,
still really good guessed right. But
we're getting into an era where just the few cards I've examined kind of going into the future, there's a lot of the better runners don't have more than like 10 chances short gain or better guess wrong. A lot of these guys, maybe they've got 11, 12 and 2 big pops and then maybe a 7 short gain guess wrong, but it's not like you see these guys with 7 and 8 and 10 and 2 and 3. There's not many of those kind of guys.
That was an interesting call.
Game.
He snuck in a young line buck, thinking that Barry would be facing the key, and guessed wrong. Even he doesn't get any gain. So that's an interesting call. Tough die roll. The other side of the card's a touchdown.
Yep.
I imagine Young's eligible for end runs here.
Yeah, 5-yard pickup. That's going to get in the end zone. So it brings it to an 8-point game, and extra point's going to make it a 2-score game. He's got it.
It's tough on Pittsburgh. He hasn't been able to score a touchdown yet. And I mean, Chicago's got a great defense too. I mean, they've got numbers freaking everywhere. Yep. What's he got? 1-4 out there in that defense?
There's a 12 on the kickoff return where you go, I'm glad I didn't have one that had a long gain on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just based on the score, if you're Pittsburgh, you might go for it on 4th and in between here, because if you hold them to a field goal, it's still only 27-15. And so they're going to play a little bit differently, perhaps on 4th and short. There's an off tackle guess wrong for Bus. Got only 2.
Only 2. Again, there's a difference. His 9 versus Barry's 9.
Yep.
I mean, Barry's Barry for a reason. He had 2,000 yards for a reason. Yeah.
And Bus is one of those guys. I mean, we were just talking about it, about 10 short gains or better chances. That's what he's got. He kills you with all the consistent plus threes,
Right.
plus four, and especially the good guess right runs. But he's not a guy that's going to punish you with tons of short games. There's a
But he'll
really nice
punish you with a
video of it.
20-yard flat.
Got 19 of it, got capped
Yeah.
by a yard, but he needed that. He's really hoping to get at least a field goal and get one of those two
Give
scores back.
himself a chance. Yep.
So he's probably thinking 4-down territory now that he's in positive. Oh, a loss of 3. Good play by Brian Powell.
Pop, my brother traded for him from Windsor. Windsor had drafted him.
Oh, yeah.
Really high, too high, one draft. But so then Vinny, I think, took over. Or maybe it was either Vinny or Larry Martin, maybe. But they looked to trade Pop and recoup something, and Steve traded for him there.
Yeah, had one of those almost perfect years, if I'm not mistaken, like a 6-12-12, but mostly he's a guy that gives you great pass rush year in, year out.
Yep. Yeah, I think he was Defensive Player of the Year that year when he was a 6-12-12.
Yeah, and I had a couple of those years with Ken Harvey, and that's a dominant kind of card because you've got obviously the 6 linebacker in the zone, and then you've got a couple of elite pass rush slots.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good call, right? Bettis, and it's going to be guessed on the quarterback card and he's got a short game 14. So although he had 5 men on the line, he did not have 5 men in blitz zones, so it's going to be guessed wrong on the quarterback card. So good call there by Vandy, and he's got a first down at the Bears 32.
Yeah,
really big pickup for this game. So.
It was. Found the open hole there. That's what it took. As Chicago, they mixed their defenses up, but he just happened to hit that hole at the right time. It's a great play call by Vandy.
Yep, I believe Zaire's down to 3 passing attempts.
Nah, he's got more than that. He gets 15%, so it's like 17 or 18. Yeah, so he's about halfway. He's good. He'll get through the game, I believe. It'll be close, but he should be able to.
Nice double team there. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Would have been +4.
Yeah, we'll keep you a little more ahead of the chains there. Yeah, good call.
Rick.
Who was the intended target? Did you catch it?
I did not.
Sanders. It was Sanders.
It was Bus wrong. Bus.
Uh-oh.
He's got the short gain. He's got 50.
There it is.
Down to 3.
3, okay.
So
we talked about the 3 flat passes that Chicago hit on 3rd and long. 2 of them this drive for Pittsburgh. 2 flat, both the Bettis flat passes, converting the first down.
Yep, I think he got 19 and 13 or 14, and he's also had at least 1 short gain run. So good drive for Bettis. Even with the full house, I believe.
Yeah, he's only a 4 as Brockermeyer. If he goes the other side, Zimmerman throws the block. But, I always say it's a lot easier game if you know what the die roll is ahead of time.
Absolutely.
People get tired of hearing me say that.
2nd and goal at the 4.
You try to sneak a pass in.
Short to Turner, gets long. Incomplete.
Well, you got to get a touchdown here. You get this close.
Since you've used so much time, though, you've almost got to take the points.
Depending on where you're at.
If it was 7 minutes to go, on 4th and goal, 3 or 4, I might go for it. But, man, 5 minutes, a little bit harder. Short to Turner, guess wrong again. Zaire's got it. Touchdown.
Got it. Off Turner's card. Had to go receiver, and Turner makes the big catch.
He's a
the big lumbering fullback.
Yeah, he's a 4 as a wide receiver. Very good for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Big extra point. He's got it. 2-point game.
What a big drive. All right, we got a game. 5 minutes left. Barry can take over. He's taken over. Ooh, a short kick return on that one.
Great coverage, 11 yards. So a little bit of pressure on the Bears.
Yep, they're have to earn it here.
Plenty of time, and you don't want to leave them a couple of minutes if you can help it. But
yeah, with that kicker, boy, a turnover would be devastating.
yep.
I've already seen a couple of them.
Off tackle, guess wrong, 8 yards.
It's a good way to start.
So Barry at 21 for 162 and a touchdown. 2nd and 2. Guess wrong. Short Tony Martin, he's got 13. He won't win MVP, but he's had a really important game.
He has had a big impact.
And lots of first downs on 3rd down. A couple of big plays on their first touchdown drive. 1st and 10, 3 minutes.
Well, that's big there too, and that if nothing else, you flip field, right? Even if you don't get a first down, you're punting the ball, and there's going to be a lot of green. Got him keyed that time, throwing backwards a yard. What's his fumble chance? They're microscopic. Even keyed, it's just a 9 out of 1,000.
That's bare minimum. The best you can get is right there. 3 guess wrong, 6 right, and 9 wrong. So yeah, he's bare minimum, but 9's better than 3. So he at least Vandy gave himself a higher chance of getting a big play there because.
And Young's got the minimum snap fumble too.
Yep. 2nd and 11. Stays with the 4-3.
Big play here. Big play, and that you
guess
wrong.
Again.
There it is. There's that. Barry just puts him on his back.
Plus 77. He's going to get a 54-yard touchdown, and
that's game. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's 2 scores with the ground and pound offense. I have a running joke with Vandy. We played quite a bit through the years, and just earlier this year, we played in a tournament, and he was playing. I think it was the 05 Patriots against the 85 Bears. I had the 85 Bears, and I had taken a field goal lead. I was ahead by a couple points, and he had a long pass with Brady, and set him up in field goal range. And he had a 2 to 10 field goal kicker. I just looked at him and said, "I'm effed," except I didn't use that language, and so we've used that a bit when we know we're in trouble. Uh-oh, he just coughed it up. Oh, that's a bad break. But
yep.
I mean, you hate to see that there. It evens out a little bit. We saw a couple of them on the other side, but wow, Vandy, you gave a heck of a run. You're 1 play call away from giving yourself a chance there, and you can't be right every time. And Steve, you hit that 9. How many times that 9 come up? 3 times.
Number 9.
At least twice, but here in the second half in particular. But that 9 is just devastating.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the you're effed kind of thing because when I was in college, my college roommate and I played a lot of we played Strat a lot too, but we played a lot of backgammon our first year. Anyway, one of the things we would do when somebody get way behind and it ended up carrying over for 3 or 4 years into Strat was when you're way behind in backgammon, roll doubles because that's the only way you can basically catch up if you're way behind. And after that, even in baseball or football Strat games, somebody's down like 21 points and 15 seconds left, roll doubles.
So I run the ball again here. Just such a safe play.
Yep.
And he's got that 7-yarder again. Insult, here comes injury, right? It was even called right. He called him right, but we saw that 7-yard hit there on the 5. We saw it it's there on the 10. And of course, you got the short gain on the 3. Now you can just kneel it out.
Yep.
Congratulations, Rick. That was great. Great game. And Vandy, you gave it all you had, boy. That touchdown drive was huge. You had yourself right there, and then one guess wrong to Barry. That's all it takes is one guess wrong.
And Rick knows what it's like, thanks to you, Jay, of winning and coming undefeated into the championship game and then losing. So,
Well, we can't have anyone go undefeated, can we?
no.
We can't have that. So, all right. That was awesome. So I'm on vacation. I'm going to slip out. Feel free to bring the guys in to talk to them. You know what? If they're able to come in and talk, I can hang for a couple more minutes. It's no
Okay.
big deal. So that was remarkable with that Barry card. I did not get to see any of the Seattle game. They played that one at like midnight or something. But but I did see the end of the San Francisco game, and again, it was the same deal. Just a couple of them in the fourth quarter. I think it was a 22-yarder, and I think it was a 9 that was rolled.
Yep.
And it was, but Vinny was right there. It was right there. So,
Yep.
and I have to give a big shout out to Vandy too, in that he's able to do this with Kent Graham and Eric Zier.
Oh yeah.
Kent Graham and Eric. I mean, Zier's got a solid enough little card. Kent Graham doesn't have a good card. So, he's not Steve Young. He's not Troy Aikman. He's not John. He's not Dan Marino. The quarterbacks that have all been there in Tecmo, right? So that's even I guess Jeff George went on. He's not Jeff George. So he's not those guys, and he was able to do that much with Kent Graham was cut. Vinny didn't have room for him. He was a cut, and so he picked him up late in the draft or something, just because he can play the position. He doesn't turn it over too much. So,
yep. I was lucky I got to see the Chicago game because I happened to take a nap that afternoon, and I was sort of like, okay, I've got like maybe an extra couple hours before I'd normally gone to bed, and I saw they were going to play late, and I was like, okay, yeah, I could probably stay up and watch it. They both talked about one of the things that kind of ended up making a deal other than the Barry hitting the 9 is Seattle had some pretty good shots at long passes, but didn't really hit a whole lot of them. And if you're trying a few of those and you're not hitting them and you go, like 1 for 8 or 1 for 10 or something, that stalls a lot of drives. That's like a dead play in the middle of, trying to move the chains. And that was a big deal in that game. But the game was very close. And just like you're talking about in the San Fran game, looked like Chicago might go down, but then Barry goes crazy with the big, not just, plus 30, but, plus 55 kind of runs. So,
yeah. So Chicago tried like 8 or 10 long passes in the Seattle game.
Seattle did.
Seattle did. Okay.
Yeah. And he had some really good opportunities. And, he and Rick talked about it. It's like, if you just hit one more of those long passes, and, I agree. It could have been even closer, but it's just a matter of time before Barry hits one of those big plays. And just like we're talking about, you can't call run the whole game.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, Aikman isn't a great deep passer, but if they're open, you want to take a few shots at it, but you also don't want to kill your drives. So, that's
when you're facing, especially like at least way I look at it, when I'm facing like the Bears or Seahawks, sometimes I almost feel like you're going to have to get one of those 35 to 50-yard plays, or you're going to score 10 or 13, because these guys have got good defenses and they're great defensive coaches, and it's hard to get 25 first downs in a game. You might get on a good game 16, 18, and you're almost got to have some chunk plays, I think so.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep the free safety from creeping in too much. Here's Rick. Let's get the champion on. Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you, Tim.
Congratulations, Rick.
Thanks, Jay.
Wow,
yeah, man, that was a lot of fun, man. Vandy, man, what a coach. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean,
He had that stretch there, and that one that one drive where he hit you 3 out of 4 times, 3 out of the 4 play calls, and then and that's what it took, because even then you were just a yard short of that 4th down, and then he got his touchdown. But then what happened?
every time he needed to make a call, he did. But man, Barry, like I wouldn't know what to do against him. I'm glad I didn't have to play me. Because I'll just like he hit 3 long. I think he guessed wrong like 2 or 3 times, and each time got a long gain. So
yep, that's all it takes, right? Just one time you
right,
missed.
Mike? Sorry.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, buddy. Congratulations. Well, you played a great game.
I needed about 15 more run calls.
or what? Instead of just rolling that 9, roll a 7 occasionally, or 5.
Yeah.
Once or twice. Yeah.
I was willing to roll the dice with him a little bit more than maybe I should have, but holy cow, did he make me pay?
Yeah, man.
How many yards did he finish with? 200 something.
What was it, 212 or something? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It was over 2 bills, I know that, and it felt like every bit of 500.
Until he got going, Rick, you got a lot of clutch plays out of Tony Martin. It'd be 3rd and 7, he'd get 7. 3rd and 6, he'd get 6.
Yeah, I think he had like 3rd and 4, and he got 4. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like right on exactly what I needed. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he did convert a lot of.
Dudley had a big hit. Yeah, Dudley had a big hit in there too. He came up receiver. It was like a 3rd and 7 or something, 3rd and 8. You got the Dudley receiver rolled right in the middle of the card, and bam, 14, 15 yards, something like that. So
it's almost like this is like a dice game for kids or something,
Big.
Oh wait, it is a dice game for kids. Man, that's what we're playing. Yeah, no, I was win or lose. Man, Mike, you're such a class act, man. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I had a blast, Rick, and right back at you. It was nip tuck the whole way. I had the turnover advantage. I felt like I had to have it. And to your credit, man, I couldn't get anything done in the red zone, and I just couldn't get up enough points. I knew I'd probably need up higher 20s to have a chance at it, and I was unfortunately correct. Because look, if Barry wasn't going to groove the 9s, you've got plenty of other firepower on that offense to make hay. So,
yeah, but getting
Vandy, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Vandy, I'm sorry, guys. I pointed out too.
Without him to grind it,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
Thanks. I pointed out too before you got on a tremendous job of going undefeated with a team where your primary quarterback had been cut 2 years ago because he didn't even want to work on someone's roster. Kent Graham, who, Vinny cut him. He had no room for him. It was this time of year where, you have to cut down, and he didn't have room for him. You picked him up, and he was your primary quarterback throughout the season. That's, he's not Steve Young. He's not Troy Aikman. He's not John Elway, Dan Marino. These guys that we've seen through Tecmo just be, put their teams on their backs. And you was just all coaching defense and a pretty good running back in there too. But
he's not bad.
Well done to well done to get yourself here. So that's fantastic. So
thanks, partner. And
and Rick, you finally got that. Yeah. Zaire, who Baltimore quarterback. Yeah, he's solid. Nice little player, but he's only half of a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, it was with great trepidation that I rolled Kent Graham out there, because if you'll recall, he did spend some time in Pittsburgh, and it wasn't a good time. And but this is probably the best I can get. And he does the one thing that I needed for this team was he doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't really move the ball all that well, but he doesn't turn the ball over. And I thought we could parlay that a bit. So
you only allowed 9 point something a game. You had less than 10, and we've only seen it.
I know that some people don't like to use the term game manager, but it is what it is. He is a good game manager, and you managed that game so well. It looks like we might have lost Tim and Rick.
No, we lost you, Jay. That's who we lost.
Yeah, we lost the commish.
Tim, in 2 years, I'd probably kill for Kent Graham to be my quarterback, man. Because when Young dies, I got nobody. I don't even have Kelly Holcomb. That's how bad I am.
Yeah, well, we are going to go through hell and high water to not have to get Doug Flutie on the field in the next few years. But right now, he's just kind of sitting there as motivation for me to do better as a GM and get a quarterback because he'll be good in 98. That's the only reason I traded Elway is, he's got a good 98 card. And I feel like, I'm going to need that draft and what'd you call it? Like, reservoir of good players to be able to go get a quarterback at some point. But
I mean, if I had lost Barry, like if I still didn't have a decent team next year, I'd probably do the same thing and trade Young in that 1 year,
And of course, Commissioner's doing the same thing. He's got Marino on the market, and I don't think his team is out of it or anything. It's just you want to get value from guys at the end of their career. That I watched in the 2000s. New England and Philadelphia were great at milking guys up to the point where they were almost too expensive an assets to have on their team. And Philadelphia turned over their quarterbacks, and New England would let guys walk, rather than have to pay them super, cap killing kind of money. And I'm kind of the same way. I like to move guys and get something back for them rather than watch them retire on my roster, when I can.
Yeah. I heard in Cincinnati they're hanging, Jay's image in effigy and burning it for offering up Marino on the block, man. That's just a rumor I heard, Jay.
Who could blame them? I think Jay knows this. Marino is my favorite non-Steeler player of all time, and the first official jersey.
He's a Pittsburgh guy, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Pennsylvania guy.
The other thing is,
So tell us, Jay, why is Marino on the block? Or just got to get something back for him at this point? I think Jay may be freezing there.
Yeah, I think Jay's.
It looks like he
froze.
froze.
Marino, that's what it is.
I'm imagining he's taking your route, Tim, that he's trying to squeeze a little bit of value out of that last year or two before he has to move on.
Yeah. Like I say, 98's a season. It's going to be, maybe not my best season, but it'll be a good one. But like I said, there's only a little bit of difference between Flutie and Elway. And I sort of looked at it as, if I had Flutie and not had Elway, would I have gone out and traded a second or third rounder, a couple of third rounders to go get him? Probably not. So, I'm not that sentimental, but this is like the ultimate test. He's our guy. So it was a little tough.
I mean, Vandy, how happy were you? I wasn't around when you drafted him, but how happy were you when Bettis was there for you in the draft?
Oh, incredibly happy. Steve Forrester actually had the pick for him, and I know Steve pretty well. And we had talked, and I think at the time he had a running back in-house. Gosh, I can't remember who it was now, but I looked at it, I was like, well, he's not going to want Bettis. Maybe we could flip-flop picks, and he was amenable to it. I was thrilled because I knew that as good as his 93 card was, his 96 card offered a lot of value because you could run him into the ground. You got the short gain on 6, right, wrong. So to your point, I was absolutely thrilled. And the young man who's taking over this team for me, who's my son's best friend, I told him, I said, he's got 2 elite cards still on the hopper yet in 01 and 04. So there's still some meat on the bone for old Bussy.
Well, and even in between years, man, he's definitely serviceable, man.
I want to say maybe his 2000 card is just really, really strong for like a 3.8 average or something like that.
It'd be if I had been in the league, and I would have gotten Eric Dickerson, that would have been my oh wow, man, this is because I'm embarrassed to say back then I was a Rams fan. So
I love those old Rams teams.
Then they moved, and I don't know. I haven't been able to find that love again for the Rams.
Yeah, it'd be hard to once they move. But yeah, I love those mid-80 Rams with Dickerson, and they're always struggling to find the quarterback, and they got Everett, but obviously Eric was gone by then. So
I know, man. Brock took him to a NFC championship.
Yeah, old Brock Dieter, yeah.
Well, fun stuff, man. It was great. Thanks for accommodating the time change, Mike.
Really absolutely, my pleasure. Rick, a fantastic job, fantastic game, so well done. And to your point, this was my last game for now. Who knows what the years down the road may lead to. I'm going to take a break and kind of devote some attention to some other things. But man, what a blast I had these 4 years. I'll tell anybody that listens, Jay runs the best league that I've ever even been associated with. And it's
Tecmo
not
League
even close.
It's definitely like I've really scaled back the number of leagues I'm in. This is for sure my favorite retro league I've ever been in. It's just a great league.
Yeah, he does a great job, and it's a great group of guys too. Just from A to Z,
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with anybody. So
I haven't had a bad experience.
Yep.
Yet.
Not a single one. Absolutely. Loved every minute of it. So kudos to Jay and of course Rick. Kudos to you. Just championship worthy play, A to Z. Well deserved. All the
I
things.
feel like this is a Steve Velling championship. I should give him.
Well, yeah. See, I told Jay earlier this week, man, his brother couldn't have built a better squad, but you definitely had some fantastic calls in there, no doubt about it.
Can you imagine like coming into a league and getting this team?
Yeah, be pretty pleased with it.
Jay sent me the roster. I'm like, you're joking, right? This is a joke team, right? This isn't really the roster. Like,
yeah, usually when you come into a league, you get like the picked over carcass of a franchise,
Right. Exactly. So, like Vinny, I know I talked to Vinny. That's what he got when he joined the league. So, yeah. Well, gents, enjoyed it, man.
Absolutely.
We hope to see you soon.
You never can tell.
And we'll see you, Tim, soon. Well, I guess next time I'll see you, it'd be an autumn wind, won't it? So.
Yep, it sounds about right. Congratulations on the championship and a great job with Pittsburgh this year, Vandy. That was a super job. Somebody has to win. Unfortunately, it means somebody has to lose, but both of you guys did a great job.
Yeah,
I thought your team matched up. I was looking at your team. Well, first of all, we didn't get to play, so probably we felt the same way. I had no idea what to expect, and you probably felt the same. And then,
completely.
Yeah, in the field, man, it's just like, yeah, it took some serious dice from Barry to pull it out. Otherwise, man, it was like razor thin.
Yeah, absolutely. It was nip tuck. And Tim, best of luck to you and your Cowboys this year. And thanks for all you do for the league. Absolute credit to the league, and really enjoyed it. So best of luck to you down the road.
Okay, thanks, and good luck, Mike, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, take care, gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
And that will do it for the 1997 Tecmo Bowl. Congratulations to both coaches on an excellent job. Vandy with the runner-up position this year and winning the AFC Championship, and Rick, who won the NFC Championship and the overall Tecmo Championship. So, again, great job, and I'll see you all guys, 3 weeks from tomorrow at the 1998 draft. Take care.